So, 2020 has been straight up savage to the game show world during the second half. Back in July, we lost my second favorite game show host of all time, Regis Philbin. In October, we lost Tom Kennedy. Now here we are in November, and on, of all days, the day the 2020 NASCAR Cup champion would be determined, we lose Alex Trebek. Now, granted, I'm not a Trebekian, I'm a Tamarkinite, but you can't deny the history and legacy that Alex Trebek has left in the game show world. He'll be most known as the host of Jeopardy, but Alex has done way more than just that. He's hosted multiple game shows throughout his career. He's done acting. He was a guest interviewer at WrestleMania 7 along with Regis. He was a race car driver. Oh, what? You don't remember the time that Alex Trebek was a race car driver? Well, yes, believe it or not, Alex Trebek at one point was a race car driver. And the event he was in is far and away my favorite exhibition/charity race ever. For those of you watching this video from the auto racing portion of my fan base, I know you're probably thinking that somebody else is the reason for that. Yes, that's a reason, but not the only reason, as I shall explain. This is my story of the 2009 Toyota Pro Celebrity Race. Usually when game shows and auto racing collide, it would consist of people in auto racing appearing on a game show for charity. This instance was very different though. In fact, it was the very opposite. There were high hopes for 2009 as we came off a momentous 2008 with only a couple major things going wrong. Unfortunately, at least in the case of auto racing, 2009 was a straight up dumpster fire. Before it went all downhill, there was one event that I myself was excited for. And it was because I could not believe this was going to be a thing. The Toyota Pro Celebrity Race was a 40-year tradition where pro racers and celebrities get to race in a brief competition for charity around the streets of Long Beach, alongside that of the Toyota Grand Prix at Long Beach, done by 3 different major divisions of auto racing. There have been people who have hosted game shows that have competed in this event before. William Shatner, who hosted Show Me the Money, competed in this race a couple times. Donny Osmond, who hosted the 2000s version of Pyramid, won the race in 1991, and then flipped in 1999. Alfonso Ribeiro, who hosts Catch 21, won the race the last 2 years the race was run. Although all 3 of them do carry the distinction of being a game show host, all 3 are way more known for other things, specifically being an actor or variety host. Only once in the history of this race has a celebrity who's most known for being a game show host competed in this event. In March of 2009, a month before the 2009 running of the race, a press release came out detailing all the drivers, celebrity and pro, that would be in this race. Some of the names were familiar to me. I know Keanu Reeves. I know Raven Simone. I know Danny Way. I kind of know Carlos Mencia. All of a sudden, I see the name Alex Trebek come up. I just stop. And I'm going, huh? I thought I was dreaming when I saw that. Like, there were a few game show hosts that I could legit see running this race. Alex Trebek was not one of them. And then on top of that, I took a look at the pro drivers because I was curious to see who would get the Truck Series invite. You see, in the late 2000s, a driver from the NASCAR Truck Series got an invite to run in this race as well. The prior 3 years, it was either Tom Bodine or Mike Skinner who would get the invite. For 2009, the Truck Series invite went to a different driver, the 2008 NASCAR Truck Series champion, Johnny Benson. For those of you watching this video from the game show portion of my fan base, I should let you know that Johnny Benson is my all-time favorite racer. That's right. In 2009, I was going to see my all-time favorite racer race against a game show host, and it would be Alex Trebek. What? Of course, my racing buds are laughing at this when they found out this was going to be a thing, trying to think how I would react if Trebek somehow wrecked Benson, which, considering the rules of the event, was actually a good possibility. Well, how did this race go when it was run in mid-April of 2009? Well, this is what happened.
Pace car making its way around this 1.9-mile street circuit here in Long Beach, and we're going to have 13 celebrity drivers today. We'll have 5 pro drivers. Brian Till, you've seen qualifying, you've seen practice. Who are some of the drivers that stand out to you?
You got to look at Danny Way on the pole.
When you see the broadcast, for some reason, no one could get Raven Simone's TV show right. It's That's So Raven, not She's So Raven. Alex Trebek started 11th in this event, out-qualifying Douglas Freegan and Marilyn Rajkub. For those who have never witnessed the event, the 5 pro drivers in the event start 30 seconds behind the celebrities. This includes the 2008 overall winner, Jamie Little, yes, that Jamie Little, who was promoted to the pro division after winning the event overall the prior year in a thrilling duel against Mike Skinner. A lot of pre-race thoughts from the celebrities were played, including one from Alex.
With this race, we're going to be helping kids, and at the same time, I get to go real fast.
I want to have fun.
Fans, it's always about the fans, man. That's all this is ever about.
I want to finish first, and I want to finish. So.
It's going to be competitive. We got a lot of competitive people in our group, and but everybody's excited.
Not everyone can provide speed like in a horse race. Some of them are there to fill out the field, and that's what I'm for.
Meanwhile, in the I don't know who I'm talking to department,
I'm asking you to leave me alone. I'm just an innocent actor over here. You NASCAR guys are out of your minds.
You NASCAR guys are out of your minds? Dude, you're talking to Johnny Benson, not Kyle Busch. And they're off. As I mentioned before, the celebrity drivers get a 30-second head start. Danny Way, Keanu Reeves, and Farnsworth Bentley got out to a great lead against everyone else rather quickly, as the pro drivers, led by Al Unser Jr., gave chase against the celebrities. Once the pros caught the back of the celebrity field, the celebrities in the back gave the pros some room. Ish.
Chipping away at the last few cars in the celebrity field, and it's only taken him a couple of laps to do it. Look, as he makes the move now, he's going to pick up 2 positions on turn 1.
Spectacular. Got Doug Fegan and Anna Marie Dean all under braking there in turn 1. A really late move on Anna Marie Dean, but I think she saw that burgundy car and said, I don't think I want any part of this.
As Al Unser Jr. made his way through the field, Johnny Benson also goes through the field as Bill Stevens, for some reason, thinks he's Jensen Button.
Take a look back, and you can see just how far back the second pro driver, Johnny Benson, is. There's Al Unser Jr. as he flashes by, and there's Benson.
Jensen making a move now.
Also more, info regarding Johnny.
And obviously Johnny Benson, a very experienced race car driver, but this is his first street race. Now, he did do a charity event in a go-kart years ago, and the walls were hay bales. So he said, you know, Brian, this is a very different ball game than what I'm used to. But he is a very accomplished race car driver. Obviously, the 2008 truck champion in the NASCAR division. Very talented in just about anything that he gets in, and he's showing that he can put it to good use on the streets.
Other than flip-flopping the words truck and NASCAR, he's pretty much right. Now we get to the first major incident of the race.
We saw a waving yellow flag, and there's the reason.
Yeah, Raven Simone hard into the tire barrier there on that right-hander. You can see the left front corner of that car has been damaged, and we're not sure right now if she's going to be able to get started and get back into the race. It appears as if she's just dead in the water.
Here's what happened. Ooh!
We just caught that at the last instant as she went hard into that tire barrier, but she did get started and is back in the running. Right now she's so wrinkled as we see.
She's so wrinkled. Okay. It's That's So Raven, guys. Seriously. I know this. The race had only a local yellow in that area, so once Raven got going again, the local yellow was lifted. The pros at this point are going up through the field as Al Unser Jr. got to 4th, and Johnny Benson and Tom Rudney, another former winner and thus a pro, were making their way towards the top 5. Up front, Danny Way managed to pull away from both Keanu Reeves and Farnsworth Bentley, who were in a good battle for second.
Farnsworth Bentley, who we mentioned earlier, and he is going to take a run at Keanu Reeves. The way it looks right now, he's still not quite ready to make that move, but he keeps at least within Keanu's mirrors.
Well, we expected this because in qualifying they were so close, and this is the way that they were going to run, and that's exactly what we've seen. Bentley has not let him get away, but there's that hard driving style that I talked about for Farnsworth Bentley, very willing to go to the throttle. And the problem with that in a front wheel drive car, it shifts the weight to the back early, and you still got a lot of cornering left to do. The front tire has to both turn and accelerate, and you heard that tire noise. These Bridgestone Potenza tires don't like that much throttle, and Keanu Reeves has been able to pull out with that mistake by Bentley.
However, that battle and the race were interrupted by this.
Well, Raven Simone, who had a problem just a lap ago, is still plugging away at it.
Oh, another problem!
And she's into the wall again, this time a lot harder, and I got to believe this may be the end of the day for Raven Simone. Wow, that was a hard hit.
Watch her here in turn in. She's carrying a lot of speed into the corner. You see a bunch of steering in the front end, a bunch of understeer, as we call it. The wheel being turned, the car not responding. Now that should bring out a full course caution, and Danny Way's lead of over 11 seconds over Keanu Reeves is going to evaporate, and more importantly, Al Unser Jr. is going to be fourth in line.
With Raven Simone crashing out, the caution brings the field back together. Raven couldn't believe her luck, but luckily she was okay. But now with Al Unser Jr. in fourth and Johnny Benson in sixth, the celebrities were in trouble. The restart came with 2 laps to go. Give Farnsworth Bentley credit, he did his best to pull off a great restart. Only problem was, Al Unser Jr.'s restart was even better.
Leading the celebrities, but look at Al Unser Jr. make a bold move on the outside and get to the lead.
Bye-bye. Here's what we were talking about, experience. None of those drivers have ever done a restart.
With Al Unser Jr. now in the lead and Farnsworth Bentley second, this was where things start to go crazy. First, Danny Way puts Keanu Reeves in the wall. Keanu slots in behind Johnny Benson. And then all of a sudden, Danny Way thinks he's Brian Vickers at Daytona earlier that year and decided to pull off some WTF blocks against Johnny Benson.
On the Long Beach circuit, and further back, Johnny Benson now right up on the back of that number 9 car, Danny Way, which led most of this race, but Al Unser Jr. is going to get a challenge from Johnny Benson as we hit the closing. And look at this as Danny Way shuts the door on Johnny Benson.
Johnny Benson told me earlier, we were talking about Jamie Little and how aggressive she was last year, and he said, I'm not going to put a fender on a lady. But I said, on a lady. Anybody else is fair game, and you saw the...
And now I'm imagining Danny Way in a tutu. Anyway, after all that, Danny Way tries to find a way to get past Farnsworth Bentley for second as we get to the white flag.
The race for these guys, so now they try to make up for lost time in the last couple of laps.
Big understeer by Farnsworth Bentley, just overcharging the hairpin there. It slowed him down, but I think it also checked up Danny Way behind him, so he wasn't able to take advantage of it.
The crowd loving every minute of this one as we're seeing changes of position, changes for lead, and a lot of wheel-to-wheel racing here.
Johnny Benson nearly goes 3 wide on Danny Way and Farnsworth Bentley going into turn 1, but backed off knowing it wouldn't work. And he was right.
Back on Farnsworth Bentley, gets it done, big contact.
You know, I saw that coming. He was offline coming into turn 1. He was too narrow on the left-hand side, not enough room to hit the apex, and you see the results.
Danny Way hit the tire barrier, and Farnsworth Bentley had absolutely nowhere to go. Johnny Benson got by, and Keanu Reeves barely avoids Farnsworth Bentley's crashed car, as does Tom Rudney. Farnsworth Bentley did manage to drive away and finish the race. Meanwhile, this was pretty much Al Unser Jr.'s race. Despite the talent and experience level of Johnny Benson, there's a reason Al Unser Jr. is known as the King of Long Beach. And not even Johnny could stop little Al that day.
Al Unser Jr. is the one with the experience. This should be the checkered flag. Is Keanu Reeves going to take the checkered flag? Will he be the winner of the celebrity event? We're about to find out. Just one more corner to go. Rudney all over the back of him, but this is not for the win. Remember, Rudney running in the pro class. Reeves wide around the hairpin there, but it doesn't matter as they make the run to the checkered.
And look at that. Al Unser Jr. takes the overall win here in the Toyota Pro Celebrity Race. And yes, Keanu Reeves is your celebrity winner as he crosses the finish line side by side with Tom Rudney, who'll wind up number 3.
Johnny pulls up to little Al post-race and gives a celebratory congratulations to him by honking the horn.
That was a great one. In typical Long Beach Toyota Pro Celebrity fashion, we had great competition, side-by-side dueling. We've been a little shaky.
As the field lines up to take a post-race lap, they all drive by what remains of Danny Way's dominant car. Eric Close, for some reason, was happy that Danny Way had crashed out. Luckily, just like Raven Simone, Danny Way was okay. As for Alex Trebek, he finished 15th in the 18-car field, beating the 3 drivers who had crashed. Yes, Alex was a field filler, as he well admitted and documented. But give Alex credit, though. He raced clean, he didn't wreck anyone, nor himself. Which is more than what I can say about Danny Way. However, the Alex Trebek portion of this story wasn't over yet. There were actually some trade-offs in regards to him being a part of this event that relate to Jeopardy. You see, the Jeopardy Clue Crew, along with Alex, did some answers for categories in future episodes of Jeopardy. The October 26, 2009 episode of Jeopardy had a category titled Auto Racing 101, which includes the only piece of video evidence I could find for one of the answers.
The dashboard has a light which tells you the best moment to shift, like when the engine hits 6,000 of these.
The March 5th, 2010 episode of Jeopardy had a specific category for the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach, where all of the answers were in video form by Sarah of the Jeopardy Clue Crew. The February 1st, 2011 episode of Jeopardy also had a clip of Alex in his race car giving an answer about one of the other participants in the race. After losing Alex, I was pleasantly surprised to find out Autoweek did an article relating to the 2009 Toyota Pro Celebrity race. It was basically a brief synopsis of the event, though I did find it hilariously cool who was brought up that was not involved in the race whatsoever. The final bonus occurred only a couple days after losing Alex, one that not even I had expected. You see, there's a podcast called Pub Table Racers that had their 2020 Champions episode for NASCAR. Johnny Benson was on this particular episode as a guest, and Alex Trebek was brought up, leading to Johnny telling a very interesting story regarding Alex and that event.
Speaking of road racing, we lost Alex Trebek over the weekend on Sunday. You raced against him out in California.
Yes,
And
we went
the,
to
Celebrity...
I think it was at Willow Springs for testing.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time with him.
What was he like?
Awesome.
Really?
I mean, not what I expected. You think kind of stuffy.
Right.
He's the nicest guy. And then, he says, I shouldn't be doing this, I'm this, that, whatever. And I says, come on, and he wasn't real quick.
He wasn't
got better.
What is, I shouldn't be doing this?
Oh, yeah, he just said, I shouldn't be doing this.
Okay. You didn't have to answer my question.
Yeah. He was pretty straightforward. Yeah, so anyways, as
Drunk, what are we going to get tonight?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Who is Johnny Benson?
Yeah. We worked through all this stuff, and then I just told him, I said, look, race day, I go, just don't hit nothing, don't wreck, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he did. And he ended up fine, because everybody else wrecked.
Good. All right. So
he had a great time.
I saw a picture that was posted in your Johnny Benson page, so I thought, oh, that's pretty cool, so I want to bring it up.
Well, what's cool is when Toyota had their banquet, I guess, after the weekend, he went up, they had an MC.
Okay.
But when Alex Trebek got up there, he became the MC
I was just going to say,
cover the rest of the event, and he was incredible.
Perfect.
It was so much fun.
All right, that's good. Perfect.
That's one of my favorite shows too of all time. As probably from 6th grade up, till I'm adult watching that show because if you get a couple of them right, you're like, geez, I'm pretty good.
I can go on there.
They know the answer right to start with.
They do.
So, yeah, Johnny Benson has mentored in auto racing Trevor Bayne, Johanna Long, Danica Patrick, a lot of the drivers driving for Kyle Busch in the Truck Series in the early 2010s, most recently Carson Hocevar, and now come to find out he's also mentored and encouraged Alex Trebek. Wow, that makes this even better. In the end, the only time that someone who's best known for being a game show host competed in an auto race turned out to be very cool for a multitude of reasons. Yes, it's a game show legend. Yes, the race featured my all-time favorite racer. No, nothing bad happened to either one of them. Yes, it was a charity race. Yes, it ends up being very memorable for more than just those reasons. And yes, the story regarding the race itself didn't end at the checkered flag. Honestly, it was one of the biggest highlights of 2009 for me. For my auto racing audience that kept up with NASCAR in 2009, you'll know all of the reasons that essentially the entire year went on a downward spiral, especially for auto racing, and NASCAR especially, that year after that race was run. For my game show audience, don't ask. Though the IBM Challenge and Regis Philbin episodes of Jeopardy, especially the Regis episode from 2006, come close, the 2009 Toyota Pro Celebrity Race is my favorite memory in relation to Alex Trebek.